Now, the First Minister hopes Ukrainian refugees could be welcomed to Scotland from this weekend as part of a new super sponsor scheme.
Yeah, Nicola Sturgeon wants to bring 3,000 refugees here immediately with Home Office approval. Our reporter Hope Webb met today with some of the people preparing for their arrival and one woman who's paying to rent a flat for a family in need.
Go for it.
In this backwind in Airdrie, compassion and selflessness is at work. These men from a local charity are loading up a van with essentials, all intended for Ukrainian families once they arrive in Scotland. The group has been overwhelmed with donations.
What we've found is a lot of people just want to do their bit. With Ukraine, they've had their own donation drives, and I think the logistics of trying to get it out to the right people has been very, very tricky. And they've not been able to send clothes, so we've been kind of then inundated with clothes. So we have to kind of shut our back door through the day now, because if we keep it open, we've got like about 20 bags up here at the last minute.
We may now be one step closer to welcoming those fleeing war. Today at Holyrood, the First Minister outlined her plans for a super sponsor scheme to bring in 3,000 refugees immediately. Her statement was also watched on by the Consul of Ukraine, who was met with a standing ovation.
We are prepared for people to start coming from this weekend onwards. Then when they come here, we would ensure temporary accommodation and then put support around people so that we were arranging longer term accommodation, whether that is with individual volunteers or public sector housing. We would arrange other support that people need, do safeguarding checks, which is important. But the key thing is, while all of that work was being done, people would have refuge and sanctuary here in Scotland.
100,000 people across the UK have signed up to sponsor a family already. Fiona Leggett is one of them. She's now paying to rent a flat in Airdrie for 15-year-old Nika and her mum Tatiana. She hosted the teenager for a summer 2 years ago as part of a charity scheme and has kept in contact ever since. The pair are now making the dangerous journey to Poland with the hopes of being among the first to arrive in Scotland.
So it's really, really hard living and breathing what they're going through, not to be emotional. We're in the fortunate position of being able to get a flat that we can put Nika in and her mum, which is less than 10 minutes from our own house. Nika can still go to school, she can long term look at college. It's very handy for Coatbridge College, and I think the first thing is really going to be a huge relief for me that they've survived the war zone and they've survived the journey to Poland, and then they've got the processes to get here. I think for us it'll be a huge sense of relief.
The Scottish Government aims to ultimately take in 10% of the total number of refugees that want to come to the UK. Each of these a person that will need essentials, a support network and a roof over their heads in order to start a new life. Hope Webb, BBC News.